Most guitar players think that their solos are boring because they don't know enough scales, they're not playing around the neck, they're stuck in one position. That is not the case, especially in the beginning to beginning intermediate part of our improvisational journey. So just give me till the end of this video. I'm going to show you something very, very simple that will change your guitar solos forever, especially the more that you utilize this, the more you get better at it and take it through all of the modes, all of the changes, all of the fretboard, and so on. It's going to make your solos sound absolutely amazing. If you do not know, my name is Ryan Ghana. I've been helping guitar players for over 20 years, really bridge the gap between their creative ideas and what they're able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent. If you would, hit the subscribe and bell notification to get more videos on how to make your guitar playing better. If I take any amazing guitar player out there and I take the neck away, right, and I say you're only allowed to play in this position, and you're only allowed to play the minor pentatonic. Actually, you're only allowed to play the bottom 3 strings. Actually, you're only allowed to play the bottom 2 strings. Or you're only allowed to play one note. They will be able to make 1 note, 2 note, 3 notes, 3 strings of the minor pentatonic, just one position of the minor pentatonic, and so on, sound amazing. Therefore, everything that they're learning, or incorporating, I should say, in their solos has purpose, and it's not just a panic to get out of a boring solo. If you're doing... we get into a panic mode where we're like, oh, give me another position, and give me Dorian, and what's Phrygian again, you know? No. Let's take all of those options away and focus only on the rhythm for right now. We get stuck in quarter note and eighth note rhythms, especially when we're starting to solo. It just feels very comfortable for us, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. Nothing interesting is going to happen there. Now, instead of going to the rhythmic theory and whether these notes are falling on the and of 3 or the E of 2 and what have you, I just want you to put a metronome on and try this. I have it at 100 BPM. Now, what's not going to be interesting? On the beat, right? I'm just playing one note, or the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and, right? Not going to be interesting. I need to mix them up. But instead of thinking of mixing them up and playing something here and there, just tap your foot along. You can play a couple notes on the foot tap, and a couple notes not on the foot tap. All right? But to get away from just the eighth notes, play something that gets your head to move. That's it. That's our goal. Foot tap, not foot tap, which is going to be in between those beats, and just get your head to move, right? So if I do this. Okay. I don't need to jump in and figure out, oh, if it's going to be on the E of the... No. Don't worry about that yet. That's not important, okay? Play it over and over, 4 times maybe, get really used to it, and then switch to another one, okay? It's just one note here. So now we have... another. We are developing a rhythmic vocabulary to always go back to. Now, just that is going to be more interesting. I kid you not, you know, and it just shows how notes and more positions and more modes and blah, blah, blah are not going to save your solos. If I have this, I'm already saying something more interesting than... all of the notes in that position of the pentatonic. They're not helping me. It's just not interesting, okay? So now, what can I do? I'm just going to start adding notes to that rhythm. If I need to play it first to get used to it, I can do that. So if I have this, the first one that I did, something like... okay, and so on. That's what you're going to do. You have your rhythm, and then you're going to add the notes, just those 2 strings of the pentatonic, 3 strings of the pentatonic, 4 strings of the pentatonic, 5, 6, that whole position, okay? And you're going to just make sure that at least you're playing something rhythmically interesting. What is nice is when this happens and we start playing, right, something like that. If I go to a phrase that's longer notes, it's going to make the longer note phrase more interesting. If I just do this, those longer notes are even more boring because what I'm playing at the top of my tempo rhythmic window is also boring. Okay, but if I have something more like this, right, that little fall down, slower rhythm is more creative because it's juxtaposing some of the faster and more intricate rhythms that I'm working on now. So it's now these, right, whether it's just quarter notes or half notes or dotted half notes or whole notes, are welcomed because what I'm doing up here by having intricate rhythms that move a little faster, right, and maybe a little bit more syncopated, are allowing for that window. But if I'm just stuck here in 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, like it's just, whew, if I go longer, it's going to be so much more boring, okay? So try that. Lastly, the trick. How this pulls this all together is, let's just say you're in your minor pentatonic. This works for whatever scale or mode it is that you're using, but some notes are going to build some tension and some notes are going to release. Minor pentatonic, my root notes are my release, and my flat 3s and my flat 7s are my tension. And my other 2 notes in that minor pentatonic, if you know the spelling, the 4s and the 5s, sit nicely in the middle. So now I can build some tension, build some release, simply by playing that interesting rhythm that ends on a flat 3 or a flat 7. And then playing an interesting rhythm that ends on my root note. Okay, so something like this now is going to be note choice and rhythm. So if I take that sort of first rhythmic example, I'm going to make a little bit more space. So if I do this, space, 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 okay, I'm playing that same rhythm. First time I ended on a flat 3, gives me a little tension. Second time I ended on a root note, brings it down. Third time I played it, ended on a flat 7, tension. Last time I did it again, root note, brings it back down. Okay? Mess around with the ending note now that you have a rhythmic vocabulary and you're playing phrases. And tap into how the rhythm with whatever note it is that you're landing on makes you feel. Does it make you feel tense? Does it make you feel resolved? Does it make you feel somewhere in the middle? Does it make you feel nothing? That's okay. Our capacity to feel what it is that we're playing also needs to grow. I promise you can do it. If you're just like, I don't know, I can't really tell the difference between like that note, tension, do I feel anything? I don't know, it's the note in the scale. If that's how you feel, that's okay. You would not be holding a guitar if you didn't have the ability to tap in to that sort of emotional sense. I mean, that's what we love about our favorite guitar players. They're giving us a feeling. We don't care if they're playing Dorian. You know what I mean? We care about the feeling that we get when we listen to them. Okay? So that capacity that you have to hear that, especially in real time, is going to need to be worked on. You know? And if you like record yourself on the phone and listen back, or you can, oh yeah, I guess I can hear it. If you're still just like, I don't know, it will happen. If you put your backing track on and you play these and you go through these steps of just one note rhythm, same rhythm, but just like mess around with notes. Okay, now I'm going to purposefully end on, you know, the root note to bring me a sense of relief. A flat 3 and a flat 7 to build the tension up, right? And just focus on the feeling. It will grow. It has to, right? So there's a very small amount of people that are actually completely tone deaf that would not be able to make that distinction. Okay? Some people just naturally listen to music differently, so they might be able to connect in a different way, like easier, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't, and that you can't surpass their ability, right? You just need to train yourself a little bit to do so. So all the steps are there. Go through them, nice and easy. I mean, that 1 or 2 note exercise you could do forever, right? How interesting that you can make it. Don't keep yourself locked in, right? That's great, but don't keep yourself locked into just one bar. Start expanding to two bar and 4 bar phrases as well. Thank you for staying to the end of the video. If you would like a free training where I go into a little bit more of this phrasing and start like taking it around the fretboard, so you're not just stuck, in one position, and we really learn the phrasing and how to adapt to saying something through the guitar in our beginning phases with that minor pentatonic. I have a free training, 3 steps to full fretboard fluency, in the description. And if you are stuck in that really boring, robotic guitar solo plateau that we all get stuck into, you really want to bridge the gap between your creative ideas, which you're able to play, becoming fully fretboard fluent, you can check out a link below to book a free consultation call, see if you're right for our fretboard fluency mentorship program. We can go through a step-by-step guide, figure out exactly where your playing is and what your goals are, and come up with a game plan. That link is also in the description. Thank you for staying till the end, and I will see you in the next video.